Hey everyone, coming at you with my second comic book haul for this new channel. Got a big fat stack of X-Men books, mostly John Byrne run stuff, a couple of CGC. As expected, I've got some Frank Frazetta, Todd McFarlane, and a few other new books that I bought at the LCS, which is strange for me. I'm not much of a new book buyer, but I saw some stuff that looked very nice to my eye and something I thought I might enjoy reading. So anyway, let's get into it. Here is X-Men number 57. Pretty good shape. It's got a tear here. I don't know if you can see it. It's got a tear here and some dog ears there, but the spine is really nice on this X-Men 57 Neil Adams art from 1969. And 114 with the John Byrne run. This was the first book that used the Uncanny label. I don't have too much to say about these John Byrne books. They're all in really good shape. I looked long and hard to get high-grade copies, and all of these are fillers. Maybe one or two of them are upgrades. I will say that looking at these covers have given me an even greater appreciation for Dave Cockrum's art. I was kind of hard on his art as a John Byrne fan when I first started looking at it. Had a copy of this in pretty bad shape from my original collection when I was a kid. I guess I bought it when I was 11 years old. But I'm a sucker for Mark Silvestri art, and this was a newsstand in high grade. I only paid about 20 bucks for it, so pretty good deal if you ask me. First appearance of Gambit cameo, annual 14. And here is number 100 in a 9.0. Got this off of Comic Link. And so these two came from that. There's number 120. 9.4, although it has a pretty ugly color breaking tick right here. That's a hard cover to get real clean with no spine ticks. Here's some new books. Spawn 327, this Spider-Man 1 swipe with Haunt on the cover. That's a McFarlane piece of art. I thought those swipes go for a pretty good bit of money, so that's kind of a spec play. Of course, McFarlane art, I'm a sucker for that as well. I bought this strictly for the cover. I didn't really know much about what was going on with the book, although I did know about his spin-offs from the Spawn's universe, so I tried to grab the number ones of each of those. But this is just a really gorgeous piece of art by Todd McFarlane. Really shows his maturity as an artist. I mean, if you compare this to, say, some of his earlier work, I mean, obviously his early work in Coyote and Invasion and all that stuff, Infinity Inc., you know, he was a budding young artist. But I mean, if you think of his heyday in the late 80s, early 90s, even then, he was not known for, you know, great anatomy and realism. Admittedly so. I mean, he in his interviews, he talks about the fact that the contorted positions that he put his Spider-Man in are the farthest thing from realism. And he sort of, like, owns it. And, you know, it is what it is. Comics are comics. It's fantasy. But, I mean, look at the anatomy here. It's really good. So, was impressed by that. Really love that cover. And like I said before, I'm a sucker for Mark Silvestri art. So here's a variant cover of Scorched number 1. Here's Spawn's Universe number 1 McFarlane cover. Some new Marvel books. Not a bad read, that one. X Lives of Wolverine. I don't know this artist, but man, what a piece of art. Gorgeous piece of art. And I'm a huge She-Hulk fan. I think that is Campbell. And then Adam Hughes. How could I pass this one up? Who's not a fan of Adam Hughes? If you like comics and you like art, you're probably a fan of Adam Hughes. This is the first appearance of Lady Deathstrike. Here's an interesting book with a Frank Frazetta cover. It has a story inside of it Genesis West Comics is the publisher. I know nothing about it. I didn't read it. But apparently the creator, I think he's the artist and the writer, was a huge Frazetta fan. And he lays out this story inside about how he contacted Frank. They had a correspondence, and he was cool enough to do this cover for him, and he just sort of gushed in this 2-page story that he wrote, his narrative. And I thought that was pretty cool. So, nice little footnote in Frazetta's art history. 88. Now, these two books, Dragon Force number 1 and 2 from Aircell Comics. Man, this was a cool little campy book with early art from Dale Keown. I don't know if I'm saying his last name correct, but Dale Keown was sort of made famous by drawing the Hulk, and then also the Pit. He created the Pit for Image Comics. This was 1988, so before all of that, and his art is very, very John Byrne-esque. I'm not trying to say he's a copycat of John Byrne, by no means, but he's just got those smooth lines. And I don't have a great example here. Let's just open this sucker up. Dale Keown is an amazing artist. One of those image artists from when they created Image, you know. Okay, here's a pretty good spread. That's just gorgeous art right there. This was before he became real popular at Marvel. Look at this face. Tell me that doesn't look like early John Byrne. Yeah, there's definitely an influence happening there. So, I like buying these little inexpensive, in my opinion, highly collectible, sort of under the radar, early art by some of my favorite artists. Here is Amazing Spider-Man 306 in a newsstand. This is probably a 9.6. That is a swipe of Action Comics 1, of course. And just one of those hard to find, especially in high grade, especially in newsstand, early books in McFarlane's run on Spider-Man. And this is one that I never had. I don't even think I bought it as a kid. I started buying these books when I was 10 years old at probably number 304, something like that. But for some reason I never got a hold of this one. And finally found a really nice high grade copy of it. It's got that perfect spine. Nice corners. Man, that's the good stuff. Number 328 in really high grade too. Love the way McFarlane draws the Hulk. It's so ridiculous. So many lines. It's just like, you know, what is he thinking? And then I saw him on his YouTube channel doing, like, you know, art tutorials and things. And he would show how these days with you know, digital art and apps and things, screens, you can zoom in really, really close, which gives him the opportunity to create even more fine lines. Speaking of the Hulk and Todd McFarlane's wacky style, look at that. That head. Like, have you ever seen a set of brows that big? That's cool, right? Yeah, this book's in really, really high grade too. Okay, last couple of magazines here. This is Epic Illustrated, I think number 6, or it may just be a date. I don't know. I believe it's number 6. But this is a beautiful Barry Windsor-Smith cover, and it goes in. I think it has an interview with him, and it shows some more art. I believe this is around the time that he quit comics, and he was releasing art under his Gore Blimey Press brand name. And man, look at that. You know, I don't know of anybody who, I mean, other than maybe Frank Frazetta, which Neil Adams will argue on his behalf about this as well. But I don't know any other artists that really sort of define Conan's look and place in comics more than Barry Windsor-Smith. So, yeah, that dude's definitely one of my art and comic book heroes, Barry Windsor-Smith. Up there with John Byrne, for sure, and Frazetta. Speaking of Frazetta, this is the last book of the haul. To cap it off and put a nice final note on it, here is Creepy number 15. In not the best of shape, but man, what a piece of art. I bought this as a print to hang on my wall when I was a kid. I was instantly obsessed with Frazetta's art when I saw it as a 10, 11-year-old. And I remember buying this print. My dad bought this print. We put it on the wall. He sort of shared an appreciation for Frazetta. My dad was an artist. I've got some old art, comic art that he drew for me when I was a kid. He was a talented artist and sort of inspired me as a kid to draw. So maybe I'll show some Barry Windsor-Smith stuff that I've saved and printed and some of my dad's art next haul. I think that might be fun. It'll be fun for me. I hope it'll be fun for you guys. So anyway, that's it for this haul. Thank you for supporting my channel by throwing a like and maybe a subscribe down there. I was on YouTube between 2015 and 2018, and I'm back now with a new channel and happy to be so. This is a lot of fun to collect books again and look at all this gorgeous art, follow these artists and these stories. It's just really fun, and I appreciate the interaction from all you guys. Have a good one.